Good morning. We're going to start now a Sicha printed in Chelik Chof, volume 20. It's the first Sicha in Vayechi, page 228. So the Rebbe says like this: If in Parshas Vayikra Yaakov el bono v'yemer, hey osvu v'agida lachem asher yikra eschem b'achas hayamin. On the pasuk that says, Yaakov called to his sons and said, "Gather together, I will tell you what will happen to you in the end of days." Zogun Chazal. So the Gemara says, "Bikesh Yaakov v'galas levon of kates hayamin, v'nistalkem imenu shchina." So the Chacham say that Yaakov wanted to reveal to his sons when the end of days would arrive, or Mashiach will come, but the Shechina withdrew from him. That's what it means. So Vayikra Yaakov el bono v'yemru, and they said, "Gather." He said, "Gather, and I'm going to tell you what's going to happen." B'achas hayamim. So Chazal say he wanted to tell him what's going when Mashiach will come, but the Shechina withdrew from him. So there was like this. This is Tamua. It's wondrous. This is a question. Shezit auf Zicher, as mit sein Wellen zu Megala sein im Ketz, is Yaakov given oisen nicht stand beweisen, as weist im Ketz, nor at Elis Fardi Shvatim, oder Fardi Eden Acharim. Yaakov's desire to reveal when Mashiach is going to come is not only to demonstrate that he knew when Mashiach would come. It was a benefit to his sons and their descendants, to the Jewish people, in the coming generations. So the question is, was Fardi Elis volt Yidden gehat, for them, was mevolt ze demot megala given Ketz. What benefit would there be to Yaakov? What benefit would there be to Yaakov revealing this information to them? In other words, what is he gaining by telling them what Mashiach will come? And the Rebbe says, "V'adram," on the contrary, Yaakov will say megala given Ketz. Were Yaakov to reveal to them the end of days, was vet ersh zayin mit viele tausende Jahre später, mit zetes it's there as a dialect bar. Were Yaakov to reveal in the end of days would arrive, something that would occur only several thousand years later, as we see that Mashiach has not yet arrived. Well, this need gebrach kinti elas. Not only would it not benefit them, on the contrary, das volt gepoilt by Yidden amirdige zerbrochenkeit und michas ruach. This would have brought the Yidden to a very great despair and heartbroken. So you're telling them Mashiach's going to come in thousands of years. That's going to be it's going to have the opposite effect of anything. It's going to cause them to despair and to be heartbroken. No, Mashiach's going to come in thousands and thousands of years. So what was the te'elas of Yaakov telling the Shvatim when Mashiach is going to come? And on the contrary, it's going to bring the Jews a great despair and heartbreak. Now, Mefarshim va'enfrin, the Mefarshim explain, as Yaakov had them Ketz gewollt megala nor lebono. Yaakov wanted to reveal Mashiach, the end of days, would arrive only to his sons. Shetzadikim hayu, u'vatuach behem, she'ava pi juhu, haketz, le'edes yavim v'yashuvim acharei Hashem. So, some of us want to say that he only wanted to tell Dafke his sons when Mashiach is going to come. Why? For they were tzaddikim, they were righteous, and he trusted that even though the end of days would only be in the distant future, they would not turn away from Hashem. Now, even so, the Eibishter did not want this knowledge to be imparted. Why? So, Mepharshim say that Hashem did not want this knowledge to be imparted even merely to them, so that it not be brought to their descendants afterwards, and many would lose hope if they were to know when Mashiach is coming, that the days are so far off. That's what Mepharshim want to say. So the Rebbe says, "Aber the teretz is nit glatu." This answer is not entirely acceptable. Aleph, why? Der Chash von Yevoda la boyim achareim, ob Yaakov wolf megalagemen dem Kates zu alle 12 zin, is azach was his moving garber pashtus. This concern that the matter will later be would be known to the descendants, had Yaakov revealed to the end of days, it's self-evident, it's self-understood that if the 12 Shvatim knew about it, obviously the kids would know about it as well. So why did Yaakov even think of revealing the future when Mashiach is going to come to his sons, knowing that his children will know about it, and then his grandchildren will know about it? That will cause a despair of when the Ketzei Yamin is going to be. Beis v'ikar, the mitzvah nitfa answer the ikar shaila. The most fundamental question is not answered. Vos for ateva v'te'elos v'tegili akitz kikent poil zayin by bonov. What benefit will Yaakov's sons have from knowing when the end of days would arrive? Was there fire bikesh Yaakov the galus the one of Ketzei Yamin? As a result, Yaakov desired to reveal the matter to his sons. What's the tale of it? What benefit will Yaakov have? Base. Okay, so basically what we said in Aleph, just to recap. Avi, you got the... okay, I posted it. All right, what we said in Aleph is as follows. We said that in this week's Parsha, that Vayikra Yaakov el Bonov, Yaakov called his sons and told them, Hey, Osfu, Agidu Lachem as Asher Yikra Eschem B'achos Hayamim, gather together, I'm going to tell you when Mashiach is going to come. So yeah, Chazal say that Yaakov wanted to reveal when Mashiach is going to come, when the Ketzei Yamin, the end of days would arrive, but the Yeshchina depart from him. So the Rebbe says, the fact that Yaakov wanted Megala when Mashiach is not only just to tell them a knowledge that he knew, but it was a benefit for the Shvatim. So the Chaydo, what benefit is it for the Shvatim to know when Mashiach is going to come? And on the contrary, the opposite is true. If Yaakov would be Megala to his children, knowing and telling them Mashiach is coming in thousands of years, this would have brought a very great despair and heartbreak. Now, some Mepharshim want to say that he only told them to his children because the tzaddikim, his children were tzaddikim, and he was certain that even though they would know Mashiach is going to come, lo yashuvu ma'achir Hashem, they will not turn away from Hashem. But Hashem didn't want that because afterwards many children would find out about it and they would lose hope. So the Rebbe says, this chash of Yevodel Aboim Machareim, that the descendants of Yaakov would know about it and give up, it's self-understood. So what was the kasakadaitach of Yaakov being megala that? And the Iker, even if he has some kasakadaitach, what benefit is there for the sons for knowing when Mashiach is going to come that Yaakov wanted to reveal this matter to his sons? Base.
Would be revealed given Mashiach. There was a chance that it could have come way earlier. At late, it was in the thinking. Right now we know it can't say like it's been thousands of years. But at the time that Yaakov would have revealed that he was going to hang out the fact that his descendants in Ashna Friday had.
I mean, yes, you get the chance to get the text, but
yeah, I hear what you're saying. You're looking at it differently. You're saying that if they know I set up the Mashiach was to come this and this date. Well, you guys can bring it closer. Yeah. Okay, base. Also, we have to explain. In Chazal, there are two understandings in Chazal of this narrative. Aleph, der Kates is Nes'al Gevarin Oich von Yaakov. Wie steht im Medrash Ba Legalis Lehemas HaKates v'niskasim mimeno. Der steht im Medrash B'tchilas HaSedra Bikin Shecholi v'nista mimeno. The Medrash says that Yaakov was about to reveal when Mashiach would come, and it became hidden from him. In other words, the matter also became hidden from Yaakov. The Medrash also says something similar when interpreting the beginning of Parshas Vayechi, that Yaakov sought to reveal, but it became hidden from him. Base. When Yaakov is a nit neskasa gevar, das ober nit megal gevanavanav. The second way of learning is that the matter did not become hidden from Yaakov. However, he did not reveal it to his sons. So that's the two in Chazal. That's where we find the two opinions. First opinion is that Yaakov wanted to reveal Mashiach is coming, but also in Iskasim Meno, that it became hidden from him when Mashiach is going to come. And the second pshat is that not from him, it wasn't hidden, but he did not reveal it to his sons. The Rebbe says in the brackets, it's possible to say, as das is oich the diak in Lashon Hashas, Bikish Yaakov the Galas V'chuli, This can explain the precise wording in the Gemara when it says Yaakov sought to reveal to his sons when the end of days would arrive, but the Shekhinah withdrew from him. It does not state that the knowledge of when the Mashiach would arrive withdrew from him. What does it say? It says, it doesn't say Nistalik Mimenu Haketz, which means, while Loit der Shas is Takef and Yaakov, then discusses the word Haketz. According to the understanding, the Gemara is highlighting that the Mashiach, the end of days, would arrive, was not hidden from Yaakov. But in Nistalik Gevaran, from him, the Shechina, see, again, says Blaise, what's up, says Blaise, Nistalik Gevaran, from him, the Shechina, hat gesehen, as me will nicht gile Haketz, hat nicht megala given. So it was only that the Shechina withdrew from him. However, the Shechina caused him to realize that revealing this information was not desired. Therefore, he did not megala to his sons. What are you saying?
And but the Shechina goes away, and like you have a smell, or I see your business.
The Rebbe is saying, the Rebbe is saying is there's two ways we find in Chazal, we find two different opinions. Either that it was Niskasa from him as well, or he knew about it, but he didn't, for whatever reason, he knew that the Shekhinah didn't want him to be Megal that. The Rebbe is saying in Shas, you see the Lashon, what does it say? Because why doesn't it say Nistal Mena Haketz? Just say straight up, Nistal Mena Shkhet. Because when Nistal Mena Shekhinah, he realized that the fact that the Shekhinah is being Nistal from him must be that the Shekhinah does not want him to be Megal Mashiach's Kamun.
But he knew the kids.
He knew the kids, Zicher. Yeah, he's just trying to bring out that Shittas HaShas would be that he knew when the kids is. Okay.
But the Shekhinah goes away. He lost that ability as well.
Yeah, that's the first way. Alternatively, you could say, Shekhinah from Lashon B'Shachanti B'Seichel. The root of the term Shekhinah is, as we say, I will dwell amongst them. B'Shachanti B'Seichel. That says, that Keach to Kenem Mashkin, Umamshach Zayin Dem Gira Ketz, Matel Banav. In other words, this means that the potential to draw down the revelation of when Mashiach comes and have it dwell amongst his sons, and this material plane withdrew from him. Therefore, he did not reveal this to his sons. So the Rebbe says like this. However, we need to understand. Can the Eberstrahl Palten Yaakov from Megala Zayin Dem Ketz the one of Afilo Eb Yaakov Veis Dem Ketz? Since, according to all opinions, it's understood that Yaakov could have prevented. That Hashem could have prevented Yaakov from revealing when the end of days would arrive, even had he known when it would come. It's my time, it was late, the day of the Shena is Gevar, the Shinei, the Ketz is Nistan Gevar for Yaakov. So now, if Hashem could have prevented Yaakov from revealing when the end of days would arrive, even had he known when it would come, so what is the reason? The Medrash maintains that a change occurred and the knowledge was withheld from Yaakov. So the Rebbe said this. So now the question is, did Yaakov really know when Mashiach is coming? Okay, so the Rebbe says this. We're holding now, for those who just came, we're holding, I posted the Sicha on the chat, we're holding now is Gimel. Okay, Gimel. We call it now is moving from all of the above, it seems, it appears, as Beide Ifanim, both approaches, Megala Zayin, either revealing or the Nitz Megala Zayin Dem Ketz, or either revealing or withholding when Mashiach will arrive, can bring an Elis for Yidin Bavidosam Aruchnius, can benefit. Yaakov thought it could bring a benefit in terms of Aveda, in terms of divine service for a Yid. Anochmer, furthermore, Ibalt as Yaakov is einer from the Ovis, Shehein Heina Markova. Since Yaakov is one of the Ovis, which it says that they are a divine chariot, as we know, it says in Tanya that the Ovis were a Merkava, which means that just like a chariot, just like a wagon has no will of its own, it does what the rider wants. So through the Ovis, they had no Ratzon for themselves. Their whole Ratzon was all Hashem. So what Rebbe is saying is that and it says that they were Merkava, serving as a chariot solely for the Ratzon, for the sublime will throughout their lives. Now, it's Muchar to Zogin, so accordingly, you're forced to say, as das was Bika Shakir the Galas fully, bis to der Gerega, when Nistalkin Menashchina is given behessen to Ratzon Alien. So welche Yaakov is given, and Merkava oich demos. So you're forced to say that Yaakov's desire to reveal Mashiach would come indicates that until the time that the Shekhinah actually withdrew from him, Yaakov's desire, according to the Ratzon HaElyon, for which Yaakov served as a chariot at the time, that's what the Ratzon HaElyon wanted. Yaakov would never do something contrary to what Hashem wants. So till Nistalka Mimena Shechina, everything wasn't according with the Ratzon HaElyon, because Yaakov served as a chariot to Hashem at that time. Or das was the Ebershel, the Peil Nid der Lozen, as Yaakov will say Migalas and Ketz, and the actual fact that Yaakov did not allow, that Hashem did not allow Yaakov to reveal when Mashiach would arrive, is weil in jenem Matzev hat sich gefordert der Eifen Anaga, und die Te'elas was kommt von dem, as the Ketz soll nicht ins Gala werden. For whatever reason, as we're going to explain, because of the situation that prevailed at that time, and because of the resulting benefits, it was necessary that it should not be revealed. Und dabei ist eine Frage 2 days. So, there are two opinions with regards to Yaakov's knowledge of the matter. Mit ein der hat die Te'elas gedarf sein euch bei Yaakov atzmei, und der Eber neskasse euch mena aketz. So according to the first opinion, the benefit of not knowing when Mashiach would arrive also needed to be realized by Yaakov himself. However, this knowledge, the second opinion, it was important only that Yaakov's sons not possess this knowledge. And therefore, from Yaakov allein didn't discuss the kids, and therefore the knowledge of when Mashiach would arrive was not withheld by Yaakov himself. So basically, what comes out from Gimel is that Yaakov's knowing when Mashiach comes and wanting to megalo when Mashiach has come is all part of the Ratzon HaElyon. It's just that whatever flipped that second, that either the Shekhinah departed from him, or he really knew it, or I should say the knowledge of Mashiach would come, departed from him, or even just the knowledge not to depart from him, but it was a Shekhinah that departed from him, not to tell over to his sons, was all part of the Ratzon HaElyon. Sai knowing and Sai the first step and the second step. Okay, Dal. Now we're going to discuss the potential for Mashiach. Dal. So we could say the possible explanation as follows. Pasuk says, you will bring them you will bring them, and you will plant them, on the mountain of your inheritance, the place that you, Hashem, the place that you, Hashem, made for your dwelling. What does that mean? What does it mean? You will bring them, you're going to plant them in the mountain of your inheritance, the place that you, Hashem, made for your dwelling. So the Chazal said like this. As ilu zochu, while the Eberster shen dan be'esis Mitzrayim, gebracht the Yidden in the mochin the shiftach alta Hashem. So Chazal say, the Zohar says this, had the Jewish people been worthy, Hashem would have then directly after the Yetzias Mitzrayim brought the Yidden to the place that you, or Hashem, made your dwelling. In other words, the Beis HaMikdash. What says binyonei the kutsha brichu is mit shayach ken chorbu galus, which means that the building that is the handiwork of Hashem would transcend any possibility of destruction of galus. Uvemele, well, the geula from galus Mitzrayim given the geula mitzvah shtem shenachar galus. It should mean that the redemption from Mitzrayim would also have been the true and ultimate redemption, and there would never be another galus. That's what it says. So, what does it mean? Tive'emoi v'site'emoi, we say in davening every day. Tive'emoi, you bring them and you planted them, the place that you, O Hashem, made your dwelling. So Chazal say, if the Yidden would be Zeicha, the Eberster would have brought them from Yetzias Mitzrayim to the Beis HaMikdash, the building of Hashem, which is not shaykh any galus. In other words, there would be no more galus. Mitzrayim would be the first and the last. Yeah, it would be an everlasting redemption. So comes out as der Ketz in dem Eufen wie is gestanden in jenem Zman ilu zacho is given bis man von Yetzias Mitzrayim. So it comes out that the potential that existed at that time, in other words, for the Jews to be worthy, the end of days would have taken place in a relatively short time, at the time of Yetzias Mitzrayim. So now, based on these explanations, this statement that Yaakov sought to reveal when Mashiach will come, when the end of days would arrive, it could be understood as a gewollt megalazin and kids wie is given demos as man for Yetzias Mitzrayim. So Yaakov wanted to reveal when Mashiach would come according to the potential that existed at that time. In other words, Yaakov would tell them when Mashiach would come from Mitzrayim, from when the Yidden left Mitzrayim. When Afal Pi as there's man for Yetzias Mitzrayim is given as mal kavua v'yadua. Now, even though the time for the Yidden leaving Mitzrayim was fixed and already known, the Ebershter had maftiach given Avram ki ger yizarach b'eretz lehem arba mea shana v'achlechen yitzu chuli. So Hashem promised Avram, your descendants will be strangers in the foreign land for 400 years, and then they will depart. So why then did Yaakov need to reveal the fact when it was already common knowledge? Hashem said to Avram, it's going to be 400 years. So what do you have to tell him? In other words, we're saying now that when what Yaakov wanted in Megala was the way that the Yidden would be Zeh to the Mashiach right after Yetzias Mitzrayim, which was 400 years. So effectively the Shaila, so the person can ask, but he already told him 400 years. So why would you have to say it again? So Shloimeh, it's possible to explain, the Yidden haben gewusst, as noch die Arba Mea Shana, weil sie aris gehen from Mitzrayim. The Yidden knew that they would leave Egypt after 400 years. Aber nicht as das wird sein, ilu zochu agula nitzre shenachar agolas. However, they did not know, had they been worthy from Mitzrayim, would have been an internal gula, never to be followed by a golas afterwards. And das hat Yaakov gewollt megalazin. And this is what Yaakov wished to reveal. Yetzias Mitzrayim in their kids. Yaakov, the Yetzias Mitzrayim would be at the end of the days. So that's how possibly you could say. You could say that they knew it was 400 years, but the prat of ilu zochu, that you guys have to do this right, or there should not be a golas afterwards, that they didn't know, and that Yaakov was megala to them, or wanted to be megala to them. Und der Miet is euch verstandig, Yaakov's kavana beim Velen megala sein, the one of them kids. On this basis, it's possible to understand Yaakov's intent that sparked his desire to reveal to his sons when the end of the days would come. When they would hear this report that Mashiach is so close, so they would exert themselves to be at the state of to be worthy of the redemption. They would be very, very careful to extreme care that there not be any sin that would cause as their kids, that the end of days would be postponed. Right? So very nice answer. The Rebbe says the B is over into aspect. This explanation, however, is insufficient. Why? What's wrong with this answer? The Rebbe says this. Be'ester stalkos v'Yaakov Avinu is given noch harum 200 year bis Yetzias Mitzrayim. For the time of Yaakov's passing until the exodus of Mitzrayim, there remains slightly less than 200 years. Because the time that elapsed from Yaakov's descent to Mitzrayim until the actual exodus, the actual Yetziah, was 210 years. And 17 years already passed from then until the time that Yaakov desired to reveal, right? Because Yaakov was in Mitzrayim the last 17 years of his life. So there was basically 200 years left. So the Rebbe says, the Eister status from Yaakov is given nacharum 200 year busy sees Mitzrayim. Since the time that Yaakov is passing until the Yetzias Mitzrayim, there remains slightly less than 200 years, as we just explained. As by the Bnei Yisrael from Yenem Yar, Walter Gilei Akit Ariskuruf and Atzis Choli. So the revelation of when Mashiach would arrive to the Yidden at that time would have produced a lot of sadness. Imagine somebody tells you now, Mashiach is coming in 200 years. It's not going to be around in a year time. Since, according to the nature, the span of man's life will be 120 years, so it come out, the Mashiach will not occur in their lifetimes. So the original question now comes back, why would Yaakov convey this knowledge to the Yidden when it would just lead to sadness and despair? Even if you want to say it's 200 years, still, they know that Mashiach is not coming in their lifetime, which would cause a great despair and sadness. So therefore the Rebbe says, accordingly, it's possible to say, as Kavanas Yaakov is given, what was the intent of Yaakov? Vayidin veln beim Gila Aketz wissen, as is Tali in Zachel, were the Yidden to know that the Mashiach's revelation is dependent on their worthiness, weil sie moisev sein, is their Zocha Avodas Hashem. So what would they do? They would increase their Avodah, which in turn would further precipitate their Kula. In other words, the knowledge that they could hasten its coming through their positive conduct would itself inspire an increase of good deeds. In other words, that the Yisaf Makdim Zayin the Geula, as Yizol Kumen noch Faiden Bashtimte Kids, Adech Maimer Chazal, Zochu Afishena. So by them knowing when the proper time of Mashiach is coming, so they would increase in their knowledge and their positive conduct of doing Ma'asim Tevim, enabling the Geula to arrive even before that appointed time. And we see this as we see, the Rebbe quotes this parallel many times, again, in regards to the Nevuah of when Mashiach will come at the appointed time. But Chazal say, what does it say? I will hasten it. What does it mean, Achishen, I will hasten it? So Chazal say, if they are worthy, Zachu, if they're worthy, Achishen, I'm going to hasten Mashiach. We find a similar phenomenon regards to Yitzias Mitzrayim. Einer von den Teimen was Golas Mitzrayim hat gedauert, nor Redu Shana. One of the reasons that Mitzrayim lasted only 210 years, nicht Arba Meir Shana, wie es ist gewähnt, bestimmte Bris Ben Absar, not 400 years spoken about, as we know, at the covenant of Bris Ben Absar, is weil der Kreishi Ashibet hat Mashve gewähnt, der Minion for Arba Meir Shana. Because the severity of the servitude replaced the remainder of the 400 years. That's one of the reasons. Is move on. As Geshem in Shibut, Kreishi Ashibet has Mashve gewähnt the Gula. So just as the increase of the severity of the servitude could hasten the coming of Mashiach, the coming of the Gula, then that of them because again involved this das aufgetan durch the Yisafa in Zafling to and Teva. So even more so, it's understood that the increase in the Yid's good deeds could lead to its arrival, to its earlier arrival. So, this is what you were saying, similar that. If Yaakov wanted Megala the Ketz, why? Because had the Yidden known when the Ketz is going to be, and knowing that, and based on the answer that Ilu Zachu, they would know, okay, Mashiach is supposed to come there, but we have the ability through doing good deeds to bring Mashiach even closer. Okay, Vav. Vav. Aval became is istalkim melishchina. Now, so Yaakov's intention was a very good intention. It's kavanah yena that should happen. However, what happened? What does Chazal say? Istalkim melishchina. The Shechina withdrew from him. On need that alazin as Yaakov's on megalzan and kitz. Did not allow Yaakov to reveal when the end of days would arrive. Is the beer bezed? The reason is for this as follows: the shleimos ba'avedas adam was durch them. Is when the avodah is melachtacha asher tasa. Now, this expression of the shleimus, the shleimus of a person, of the avodah of a person, in other words, the service that will deem him worthy and bring Mashiach closer or come earlier, results not so much from the Shechina, but from melachtacha asher tasa, your work that you perform. In other words, a person's own avodah. Like the Gemara says in Bamitzia, a person desires a kav that is his more than 9 kavim belonging to another. A person wants his own avodah. Now, even though every avodah, a person needs Hashem's assistance, like it says, where Hashem not help him, a person, the Gemara says, a person will not prevail over his Yitzhara. Nevertheless, yes, the extent to which the assistant makes man a service possible, there are 2 ways in Aveda that it's granted to him. And the Rebbe explains, Aleph. A person perceives how the assistance above granted to him in the midst of his Aveda when it's being granted. We'll do more, for example, Avodas Hashem in this manner von Eis Ratzon. For example, the divine service carried in times of Eis Ratzon, like a divine favor. For example, Aseres Tshuva, when the Eibishter is being Matzeh. For example, like Aseres Tshuva, in which Chazal say, right, Dirsh Hashem being Matzeh, seek out Hashem when he can be found, the Yesik Karev, when he is close, which is, it's a Eis Ratzon, other b'Shabbos v'Yom B'chol, or let's say on Shabbos Yom Tov, at times that there's an extra spiritual climate that we're automatically close to Hashem. So that's one way. And then you have Beis Zizayin the Siba versus Greater Messiah the Shpeta the Kavodas Adam. Then you have the Avedas, the roots that cause the motives or assist a person later Avedas Adam. A race to Aveda Gufa is a Shio Behelam. As the Aveda is Bigias Atzma. However, the influence from above is hidden at the person's Aveda, and it's carried out as a result of his own efforts. Aderech be the verschiedene Baskels was von Zei Kumra Rein in Hiruri Tshuva by the mention welche Poilen as der Nacht is a Meise B'Tei Aveda. For example, there are like different echoes that resound in the spiritual realms that produce thoughts of tshuva amongst people that motivates them to increase in Teda and Aveda. In other words, the people do not have any conscious awareness of these baskels, and their Aveda appears to be totally self-motivated. So that's the two levels. One level is you're feeling the bimatzikar, you're feeling the shina over there, you're feeling it, so it's like impossible not to get aroused by it. And then you have another one that it's being Messiah, it's helping you, but the effect comes later. But the effect comes later. You're not conscious. You don't have a conscious awareness of these baskels. Das is their time was the stalka mimenu shchina, and this is the reason why the shchina withdrew from Yaakov. And Yaakov volt megalig ben him case levanav, were Yaakov to be revealed when Mashiach arrives to his sons, was there is suffer b'avedas Hashem. Durch dem Gila Kitz zu versichern, als sie sollen stehen in der Azochu, von noch mehr Zochu, nicht gewähnt, Kav Shlei, Zeren an Ufto. So Yaakov, were Yaakov to be revealed, when Mashiach would arrive, so the Aveda would have a drawback. Why? Because the knowledge would have led to an increase, this knowledge would have led to an increase in Aveda, because it would have inspired them to conduct themselves in a manner that would certainly be deemed worthy, and hasten the Mashiach. Nevertheless, this increase would not be considered as their own kav. In them, volt given alleingemischter Ezen Ramala Gila kits, which means that had this the increase would not have been considered their own, as of coming as a result of their own input for the assistance from above, the Eibishter's Siyua would have been mixed in and would have had an impact. The Ibra is the stalkim and the Shechina, and therefore the Shechina withdrew from Yaakov. As the Avodah for Yidden is all Zayin and a matzah from Silka Shechina and Hela Maketz. Why? Because the Kavana Hashem did so with intent of bringing them into a situation where the Avodah of the Jewish people would be carried out only while the Shechina was withdrawn from them. As a result, the Avodah would be carried out on their own initiative in a full sense. So, Yaakov hat gewollt, als man soll was schneller erase from them Golos. Yaakov desired that the descendants leave Golos as soon as possible. As vet Efsher fell in Shleimus Avodah. Now, it could possibly cause that the Avodah would not reach the ultimate. Therefore, vet min frier erase from Golos, befrat von Ervas Aretz, or Araim dem Gila Amitis v'Ashleimo. Nevertheless, Yaakov felt that leaving Golos earlier, particularly in Golos, in Ervas Aretz, and entering the complete and ultimate Gula, outweighed that consideration. As thus is their diakoloshin Bikesh Yaakov the Galis. It's possible to explain this is the intent and the precise wording that Yaakov sought to reveal when Mashiach would come. Also with a request. Yaakov it gebeten my Meibishten. Yaakov also asked Hashem to make known when Mashiach would come. Was das wird geben jeden Asio Bavidosim und versichern, as the Gula wird kommen schneller. which Yaakov said this would aid the Yidden and avoid and ensure that the Geula would come sooner. The Eibishter hat aber gewollt, so what did Hashem want? As the Geula soll sein betapsa shleimus. Hashem desired that Geula would come in the utmost manner, shleimustige manner. Was das ist verbunden damit, was the Avodah von Yidden is b'shleimus. This is dependent on the Yidden carrying out the Avodah in the most fullest manner. Und der Rebbe, therefore, ist Talka mimenu Shchina. Was das gibt an Ort for aggressive shleimus in Avodas Kanal, the Shchina withdrew from him, making possible that the shleimus Avodah, as explained above.
So, the morning.